The College of Medical Laboratory Technologists of Alberta, or CMLTA, regulates and enforces the professional, technical, and ethical standards MLTs must adhere to in their professional practice. Clinicians base 85% of decisions regarding diagnosis and treatment on test results, performed, critically evaluated, and reported by medical laboratory technologists, or MLTs, making MLTs a critical part of the healthcare team and a core contributor to patient safety and public protection. To ensure the important work of MLTs conforms to the highest possible standards, the College of Medical Laboratory Technologists of Alberta, or CMLTA, was created. The CMLTA is a regulatory body that issues registrations and MLT practice permits in accordance with legislation. Its programs and services are mandated by the Minister of Health and administered in compliance with the Health Professions Act, HPA, and Medical Laboratory Technologist Profession Regulation. Government legislation empowers the CMLTA with 5 key responsibilities. 1. Establish a council. 2. Establish, maintain, and enforce standards of practice, a code of ethics, and bylaws. 3. Set and enforce minimum initial entrance to practice and renewal registration requirements. 4. Develop and administer a continuing competence program. And 5. Adjudicate complaints of unprofessional conduct. The CMLTA is governed by a council, which consists of 9 elected regulated members and 3 public members appointed by government. The CMLTA Council directs and oversees programs and services which enhance patient safety and public protection. Council is also tasked with appointing a registrar, complaints director, hearings director, and regulated members to participate in hearing tribunals and complaint review committees. The CMLTA standards of practice represent the minimum standards of professional behavior and ethical conduct expected of all MLTs. These standards are mandatory and apply to regulated members at all times in all dimensions of professional practice. They reflect both public and professional interests, provide guidance for MLTs and others in evaluating and maintaining competence, and provide a reference to the public and others regarding the professional standards to which MLTs are accountable. Ultimately, the standards relate to the provision of professional services, body of knowledge, application of knowledge and skills, safe practice, continued competence, professional responsibility and accountability, and ethics. The CMLTA Code of Ethics defines the basic expectations and ethical principles for regulated members. It acts as a moral guide which governs the professional and personal conduct of all regulated members. It conveys to the public the principles by which professional performance is adjudicated, and it includes respect, professional attitude and behavior, professional development, accountability, confidentiality and conflict of interest, safety, and professional responsibility. Applicants must submit a completed application and provide all supporting documentation, including Canadian Society for Medical Laboratory Science, CSMLS certification, and an MLT diploma or degree. The registrar reviews all applications to ensure the minimum registration requirements have been satisfied. Qualified applicants are recognized as regulated members and receive registration and an MLT practice permit. New graduates of accredited Canadian MLT training programs may apply for registration upon receiving the CSMLS Admission to Examination Notice. While awaiting confirmation of CSMLS certification, new graduates may be issued a provisional MLT practice permit. CSMLS certification must be submitted to the college prior to the expiry date on the provisional MLT practice permit. In the event an applicant meets the educational and certification requirements but lacks the required MLT work hours and/or has been absent from professional practice, a conditional MLT practice permit may be issued. A conditional practice permit is issued for a specified time period to allow a member to accrue supervised MLT work hours and/or successfully complete coursework. Regulated members with provisions or conditions must provide the registrar with evidence of full compliance with the provisions or conditions prior to the expiry date of an MLT practice permit to avoid cancellation. All regulated members must renew online annually to obtain a new registration and MLT practice permit for the upcoming registration year. The Continuing Competence Program, or CCP, utilizes a self-assessment of skills, knowledge, judgments, and attitudes based on the MLT competency profile. It is a self-directed, proactive approach to continuous learning and ongoing professional development. Each year, regulated members must develop a new learning plan to be completed over the course of the registration year. All previous and current regulated members are subject to the random compliance audit, which requires the submission of evidence of learning over a 1 to 5 year period. The Health Professions Act, or HPA, defines unprofessional conduct as displaying a lack of knowledge of or lack of skill or judgment in the provision of professional services, contravention of the HPA, a code of ethics or standards of practice, failure or refusal to comply with the requirements of the Continuing Competence Program, failure or refusal to comply with the request of or cooperate with an investigator, failure or refusal to undergo an examination for an incapacity assessment for physical or mental health, and conduct that harms the integrity of the regulated profession. Complaints of unprofessional conduct are subject to mandatory reporting, as outlined by Section 57 of the HPA. Employers are required to notify the CMLTA of all suspensions, terminations, or resignations that, in their opinion, are due to unprofessional conduct. Complaints of unprofessional conduct may be dismissed or investigated, or a regulated member may be required to submit to an incapacity assessment, and any evidence of unprofessional conduct may necessitate a hearing tribunal. Hearing tribunal orders may include restrictions on professional practice, fines, costs, and/or suspensions. For more information on the CMLTA, its programs and services, or the registration process, visit cmlta.org. For more information on the CSMLS or the national certification process, visit csmls.org.